Hello guys, welcome to the next part of the 3ds Max sci-fi vehicle. I'd like to thank Autodesk for sponsoring this series of videos, helping produce more great content for you guys. So a little bit of work off camera guys to show you kind of the process. Whenever I work on something guys, it always starts off very slow, but once you've got your block out, as you can see, once you got a few things set up here, it just really ramps up. So you can see this was the initial, this right here is a very basic block out. Then got a little bit more complex. Then even more complex. And now, so I will show how I made this. Here's how I made this, guys. So one thing I like to do is I like to kit bash objects after I've just made them. So last time, pretty much, in the last video, you saw me make pretty much this right here. Alright, so sometimes what I like to do, guys, is I like to just select this, and maybe just this as well. And I will go ahead and duplicate this. As you can see, in order to get this, what I went ahead and did is I just, let me just unlink that, and I will link this to this. And I'm going to rotate this by 180 degrees. Alright, so I pretty much got that. And so one thing I like to do, guys, I like to kit bash pieces together. Even the same piece can be quite effective. And, here, I mean, you may be able to tell this is just the same piece, but you can see how, like, from this angle, they look like they're different objects, even though it's the same object, just repeated. So sometimes, guys, in order to get your imagination flowing, just doing something like this can be very effective. Right, so now I go ahead and I duplicate this, let's say right there. Now, in order to get this, what I would do is I would just, for example, maybe select this and kind of rotate around here. All right, to get that. And then I would just duplicate this again. All right, now as you can see, I pretty much recreated these conditions. All right, let's see. So of course, I do think I need to move this apart. So what I did for this one of the reasons they look so much different is because I actually moved them apart a little bit here. So for example, this one right here, I will make this my pivot and I will move this, closer together. Like this, for example, and this one, and let me delete this one right here as well. And this one I will move further apart. And this one right here, I will scale together. All right, and then I will select this, and I will clone this here as well. And then let me just clone this as well. And then I will, you can also just make some changes here. So for example, you can select this, hold Control or hold Shift and click here to convert to the border edges, and then just kind of chamfer right here, just to get further detail. So you can do kind of something like that to just transform from a basic cylinder so they're a little bit more complex, building on the detail piece by piece. And then for this, I would just go ahead and Control V to copy that. And I would just go ahead and scale this. So scale it like that and scale like this to get pretty much the wheel. So the reason why I'm doing this, guys, is because, this is how I'm able to iterate on the design. This is how I'm able to just build and come up with things to do. Then what I simply did, guys, is I took this and I made sure it was rigged. So I went ahead and used link and then, see, link this to that, link this to that, link this to that, this to that, this to that. All right, so, and let's see, this one to that one. So now what we've got is we've got this nice system for quickly testing out shapes. So we can quickly test out fun shapes, guys, just like this, and kind of fun designs with this. So we can see, okay, what does it look like that? What if it's looked like this? So as you can see, you can get some really nice things happening here. So I took those and I kind of duplicated them along here, and I set up this kind of system right here. So what I'm thinking here is that when it wants to deploy, for example, it will start off, like this, for example, and it'll go into its walker mode, or maybe its stability mode. It's more stable right here, and this is like so, right? So now it can walk on that. And when it's ready to go on the wheels will be deployed. They would just rotate down, now it's on the wheels. Now, of course, I will need to maybe change this as well. This was my original wheel. But what I can also do is maybe make a duplicate of this, so I can always have the original as a backup. So we can always have the original right here. Actually, let me also select this as well. All right. So just in case, it's always a good idea to keep a backup. Here I'm just kind of moving things out. You can also keep it on a new layer as well. All right. So I just pretty much took this right here. I duplicated it. I perhaps scaled it. That's an important part as well. So I scaled it. As you can see, to get this, I then went ahead and I rotated. Remember, the radius max remembers your last axis, so you don't have to left click and then move the axis. It just remembers that I'm using the z-axis. So all I just have to do is left click and hold. So as you can see, guys, I was able to do this. And then for the back piece, these two back pieces, I could just rotate this by, 180 degrees and also set it up in the correct place, different orientation. All right, so that's how I was able to set this up. So the reason why I'm doing this right here, guys, is because I'm thinking about how I can do this. Do I want every single leg to have all the wheels? Or perhaps just, right now, I start off with 4 legs. I'm thinking, okay, what if I have maybe 3 legs? 2 legs right here, and then a third one in the middle. And then when it wants to roll around, it kind of rotates 2 legs back and just has this. Because I'm thinking, okay, do I really want to have, 9 wheels, or let's say 12 wheels, 6 on both sides? Or perhaps I just want to have 1 in the middle. So there's kind of a lot of questions I ask as I'm working on this and kind of kit bashing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch this back to world and kind of make this default. All right, so as you can see, I will need to kind of link this. All right, now I should be able to just kind of, okay. And press A for angle snap and kind of put that right there. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and shift A that right there. All right, so as you can see, I'm just kind of, I can go ahead and delete these. They have served their purpose. What I can do now is just kind of work out how this is gonna work and how large I want this to be, But you can see, guys, that once you've got the initial block out, then the progress just goes very quickly. So as long as you guys can just make it to the block out, you'll be able to zoom through your design with no problem. All right, what I'm going to do is just to select all this, Control V to copy this. You can also copy as the instance as well. And so now I'll just rotate it like so. All right, and I'm gonna select all this, and we're just gonna do a quick symmetry. All right, there we go. So I will go with this one. As you can see, guys, once you build up complexity in a certain part, you can see how now it looks a little bit off here because we've got so much complexity here, yet this looks so simple. So now we can go ahead and do a little bit of a block out here as well. As you can see, now that we have greater complexity on the legs, the rest of the design looks too simple. Now we have to do a little bit more work to catch it up with what we've done on the legs as well. So let's go ahead and do some work on here. We'll go ahead and select this and let's go ahead and attach that as a clone. We can just reuse assets by just duplicating them out. I'm going to clone this out here. And we're going to delete everything except the original cylinder. And we will rotate by 9 degrees. Center the pivot, Alt A. But we're just going to have, for example, let me switch that to world. And we will just use the X position. I will change the material. Alright, we can have multiple axes and the same symmetry modifier. As you can see, guys, I'm just gradually increasing the complexity here. Alright, here if I want to add more complexity, I could just, for example, tessellate this. Remember guys, this is a great situation to use Smart Extrude because, for example, I could hold down Shift just like this. I could just hold down Shift to cut all the way through there. And I can use Symmetry to take care of the other side, if I wanted to do that. So we can also just select all this right here. And we can even do things like scaling it together, for example, and then kind of moving it as well, like so. Oh, looks like we got a little problem right here because of the shell modifier is kind of, if we see what's happening here, it's kind of shelling in the normal. So we're getting this. So in order to fix that, what we can do is just select this edge, move a little bit to the right. Or what we can do is simply change the order of things. We can simply put the shell on top of symmetry. And now we fix that like so. So sometimes changing the order of modifiers can be a great help as well. As you can see, I'm just modifying things, changing the material here and there, finding out what works better, experimenting with the color scheme. You know, maybe this should be gray, maybe it should be an even darker gray, so I can duplicate this and maybe use an even darker gray right here. Right, I will individually outline this and then do the same for that. And then I can extrude and scale them. Not like this, but we're going to change it to this mode. Now we can scale them like so. So just a nice little detail we can add here as well. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching and take care.